S. Chan presents Educational Video Lectures. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
In an ever-changing world where technology is rapidly advancing, it is very easy to overlook the importance of soft skills. And soft skills encompasses communication skills, presentation skills, leadership skills, decision making, public speaking, adaptability, teamwork, and if all these things are there, presentation skills plays an important role as a soft skill component.
If you want to study these topics in detail, refer to these books from Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box.
Hi, I am Dr. Divyabha. So I would be covering the presentation skills, the importance of presentation skills. And before knowing what is the importance of presentation skills, I would like to tell you, is there any format to prepare PPTs? Yes, there is a format to prepare PPTs. What are the things which we need to avoid and what are the things which we need to include? So let's talk about presentation skills, making PowerPoint presentations, and in this particular topic, we would be talking about avoiding pitfalls of the presentation or bad slides. Tips to be covered. We are going to cover a lot of tips in this presentation. First thing, we will talk about the outline. Is there any outline of the slide? Is it required or not? We will talk about slide structure also. We are going to talk about what should be the font which is visible to the larger audience also. And if we are sitting in a smaller room, what is the best font to be used in it? Next, the color we can use. Are we going to use different colors in our presentations? Or you think, no, different colors are not required, only contrast is required. Use only contrast, and what kind of contrast has to be used? Can we be very creative while preparing presentation? Or graphs. Is there any importance of graphs and tables in the presentation? And spelling and grammar, any role during the presentation? And then what is the conclusion? And if there are any questions, can be covered. So the first thing is the outline slide. In any slide, though all the presentations and the limit of the presentation based on what is the timeline given to you. First thing, if there is any time like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can wind up your presentation. What is the topic? So two important aspects are there. Which topic are you going to use in this presentation? Are you going to cover in this presentation? Second thing, how much time has been allotted to you? 15 minutes time, a simple topic, then it is fine. If it is complex topic and you think I need some more time to elaborate on it, it is always better to make fewer slides and elaborate it more. So first slide should talk about what is the outline. What are the topics you are going to present? You have prepared in your presentation and you are going to present it. Make your slide, first slide of your presentation is the outline slide. So maybe if slides are more, then maybe you may take 2 slides to complete the one task. But 1 slide is also enough. So first slide should talk about what is the outline of it. Follow the order. It is important you need to follow the order in the entire presentation. It's not that you are showing topics in the outline, some other topics are being shown, and then you are using for your presentations different kind of topics in your slides. So there should not be any mismatch between these two important aspects. Only place main points. Do not mention each and everything in your presentation. Only fewer points should be given so that you have the scope to elaborate on it. Rather than only showing PPTs, you should always talk, and that is how you connect with your audience rather than only seeing your presentations and again and again. And as we are humans, if you are writing more, you will tend to read more. So if less is written, something will come from your mind also. Next thing, use only place main points. Use the titles of each slide as main point. This could also be done if you are not writing everything in your slides and you don't know how to select what to be written in your slides. Only main points you can take up, only the headings you can take up and just write in your slides. Slide structure, what is called bad slide structure, what is called good slide structure, what should be followed, what should not be followed. All these things come in your mind when somebody asks you prepare a presentation and deliver it. Now I can prepare my presentation or maybe I'll download it from somewhere, but that is not your authentic work. It is always better to prepare your presentation because you are the person who is going to research on the topic, and when well-researched topic are prepared in a presentation, then you can see what kind of information you are actually transmitting to others. So this is the slide structure, which we can call it as a good structure because only pointers are there, only 4 points are being given. I'm talking about 1 or 2 slides per minute for the presentation. I'm saying write in point forms, do not mention everything in your presentation, include only 4 to 5 slide points per slide. Do not mention more points than that. Avoid wordliness. Only use keywords, key phrases, whatever important, only use that rather than using the entire structure of your presentation. So we call it a good structure and it can be followed everywhere. Now, if we say that it is a bad structure, again, all the points which we have covered in the previous slides are being covered here, but we cannot call it a good structure of the slide. What is the reason? It is written in a paragraph form. Almost similar points are there. They are also talking about wordliness should not be there in the presentation. Do not write, it is not written in a point form, making it difficult for everyone to read, to comprehend. That's the reason why it should be written in point form, because it is easy to comprehend for everyone when it is written in the points. Similar points are given, but in paragraph, not in points. So we don't call it good structure. Next thing is, this slide structure is also good. Show 1 point at a time. What is the reason why are we writing 1 point at a time? Because we want our audience to, whosoever our audience are, they should only focus on what we are showing to them and what we are focusing. So they will focus only on 1 point. Will prevent audience from reading ahead. So only 1 point will come first and the second point will come, so that they are focused, they know what they are showing and what they are seeing. They are not going ahead of you. That will help you to keep your presentation focused. 1 point you are elaborating, second point you are elaborating, third point you are elaborating, and they are going with your flow. They do not have their own flow while seeing the presentation. Now, maybe a lot of points when coming at a time, maybe it is not taken into consideration, as we can see each and everything what is given here. So distracting animation should be avoided in the presentation, and do not go overboard. If at all you are using any animation in your presentation, like wiping in, wiping out, so it is something which is to emphasize on some of the points. It is not for the decoration purpose. It is not for the purpose of gaming. So it is always better when you are showing or preparing some professional presentations, very few animation should be used if at all you are using. Otherwise, try and avoid it because it is not required otherwise for professional presentations. Be consistent. If at all you are using, be consistent that you are using it in your all the slides, and do not use it only for one slide or maybe third slide and then it is coming in the fifth slide. Then font size, this is a good font size where 18-point font is being used, and it can be used for bigger audience. Everybody can read it easily and it is readable. Use different size of font for maybe primary and secondary aspects, secondary points that could be used, but do not use it that first main point is has different font, second main point has different font, maybe going decreasing order or maybe going in increasing order. Do not use it. It is not used for decoration. This font is 24 point. The main point is 28 and the title point is 36. Can be used easily, good for audience, and 18-point font, that is at least, that is minimum even for a smaller audience. And then use these standard fonts. Do not use complicated font. It is not required. Only simple format, simple font should be used, which is readable and people can accept it, people can comprehend it, understand it easily when you are writing something and telling something. Now, you can see it easily that very, very small font has been given and different kind of fonts also. First, we will talk about the smaller font. What is the problem with this smaller font? If you are writing small font and you are using such font, it is very difficult for audience to read it, even from a shorter distance also. What to talk about longer distance? So just keep in mind what is the size of your audience, and 18 is the minimum font which you need to use. Second thing, if we talk about the bad structure of writing, it is not that we cannot capitalize our letters, but the problem with capitalization is difficult to understand, difficult to comprehend. It takes time. So it is little annoying for readers to read it and then understand it. Though when you are writing, somebody says that if your handwriting is very poor, you can use this technique to make it clear that what you are writing, but again, not for such things where you are typing and then you are using this capitalization. It is annoying for your readers. Always try and avoid it. Complicated font should also be avoided. It is not required and it is not acceptable also that you are writing complicated font, and again your readers are taking a lot of time to understand what you have written. Colors which can be used, like it has to be contrast with the font, either light color background, dark color you are using, or maybe dark color background you are using and then light color font should be used. It has to go in the contrast. Use a color of font that contrasts sharply with the background. So always it has to be sharp. It's not white color background you have taken and sky blue color font you have been using. That is not readable from the distance. If you think that I want to reinforce some of the information, some important facts here, you can use different colors. There is no problem in it. And even you can use light and dark color combinations also to emphasize on certain points. That is also okay. Use colors to emphasize a point, then also it is fine. Like I cannot tell how important it is, so I am writing, I am giving some different colors to emphasize on that particular point. Fair enough. But do not use it for the decoration purpose. People generally use it for decoration purpose. You can see it here. What is like the kind of background is there and the kind of font they are using. So using a font color that is not in contrast with your background, please do not use it, avoid it. Next is using it for the decoration purpose or for it is actually distracting. So do not use it. It is avoidable thing. Using different colors for no purpose, don't do that. And being very, very creative is also not important when you are going to give the formal presentation. Formal presentations, why do we call it formal presentation? Because it is generally related to business ideas. It is generally related to your grading, your evaluation. So when we are talking about your evaluation on the basis of your attention and your ability to present your thoughts in a form of presentation, how important it is to be very, very specific regarding the structure of it, regarding the visuals of it. Background, it's fine if you are using the light color background and light color font. Dark color font, the contrast is always okay. But whatever background you are using, you should use it throughout your presentation. Do not change it here and there for the purpose of your creativity. Do you think such kind of backgrounds are okay? No, this is not okay, because the kind of background is being given in this particular slide. It is not acceptable. People do use it for decoration purpose. Decoration is fine, but not. It is annoying for others to read from there. Now avoid background where a lot of pictures, without any reason. If you are using a lot of animations without any reason, if you are using a lot of background impact, and if you are using some pictures and charts, tables, graphs which are not required at that moment, please do not use it. It is always good to show some trends through your charts, your graphs, but not for the decoration purpose. So this is the end of the last chapter, where we have covered what is presentation skills and what are the pitfalls we need to avoid in the presentation, specifically regarding font, regarding color combinations, We have already talked about what are the important factors we need to keep in mind while preparing the presentation. Some of the points we have covered here, and some of the points we will cover in the next presentation in the next slides.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on UGC curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting within the comfort of your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
Welcome back to the S. Chand Academy. In the last series, in the last lecture, we have covered what are presentation skills and what are the pitfalls we need to avoid while preparing the presentation. In this particular lecture, we would be talking more about it, what other details we need to keep in mind for preparing the presentations. If we talk about the graphs, as we have already talked about, are we going to use it for the decoration purpose? No. So it is always try and use graphs in your presentation, which gives more impact, because whatever you write in words and whatever you show in pictures or graphs, it has always have greater impact. For example, use graphs rather than using words in charts. So rather than using words, because your picture speaks 1,000 words than your words, so it is always better to show trends through graphs, and data in graphs is easier to comprehend for everyone. People do understand it faster, people do comprehend it faster, and maybe if they are seeing some trends, somewhere it is going less and going high, it is easier to comprehend rather than writing everything and making them understand. Always title your graphs. Do not leave untitled graphs. Sometimes it is not good to understand, and it is difficult to understand. And if graph does not have any kind of titles, you will not get to know what kind of trends you are showing through this. For example, this is called a bad draft. And why do we call a bad draft? Because it is not titled first thing. It is not a graph at all. It is just a table which is talking about some red and blue color balls, which is talking about some January, February, March, April trends, but they are not talking about literally what exactly they want to show in this. If they want to show something in this, it is always better to show such kind of graph where they are talking about items sold in the first quarter of this particular year. And what are those items? These are blue balls and red balls, and this is how they are showing in January. What was more, what they could sell less. So all the trends they have shown in the March, they could show it easily. It was till 90%. They have gone up, especially for the blue balls. So everything is given clearly, and I could see what is the trend. You can understand it, what is the trend. So you do not have to mention it or elaborate on it, what exactly you want to show here. So that is the reason why do we use graphs and charts. This is again a bad kind of draft. What is the reason why are we saying that graph is not appropriate? Grid lines, minor grid lines are there. Again, it is not titled properly. They are not showing, and it is difficult to comprehend from the distance what exactly you want to show here. Numbers are not coming up properly. So it is always try and avoid such things where clearly mentioned things are not available. Graphs and all these things are given, very small font has been used. Illogical colors, the color combination have to be used very logically while preparing the graphs. Titles were missing, and somehow because grid lines were there, so distraction was there more rather than apprehension. Now it is again very important aspect of any kind of presentation or any kind of communication. Either you do verbal communication, non-verbal communication, writings are there. It is always better that somebody should proofread it for you and should tell you what exactly the problem is. So if you think, there are 3 points which are given here, which are important points. Just think about it. What are the problems here? First thing, spelling mistakes. You should always avoid spelling mistakes. Are there any spelling mistakes here? Yes. This is the error. The use of repeated words. Any error? Yes, one word is repeated twice. Grammatical errors you might have make. Any grammatical error is there? This is the grammatical error. You need to identify what is the grammatical error here. If English is not your first language, that's fine. English is our second language and we can use it. We have been studying it throughout from the time we have started studying. We have been learning this language. So rather than taking somebody's help who has very good English or very good communication skills, it is always better to reread it and understand it where the problem is and rewrite it if the problem happened. Now, conclusion, do you think for any presentation this is important to have very good conclusion and very impressive introduction? For any style of writing, for any style of communication, when you are speaking also for basic presentation skills, it is important when you start something, people would like to know what exactly you are going to say ahead. If you are ending your presentation on a nice note, very effective closing if you are giving, people would like to know, like to read it or like to remember it for quite a long time. So that is the reason why these two important aspects should be given in any kind of communication. First one is very, very effective introduction and very important closing. So use the concluding slide if you think that concluding slide is also important. Some overview you wanted to give again, you can give it, take the help of it, give the overview of it, and then suggest future avenues also if any. That is the last slide which you need to write before ending the slide. One more important aspect is there which you cannot skip, that is question slide. If the question slide is coming, people would get to know that is the end of your presentation. So when you are ending your presentation with the question slide, first thing, you are avoiding your presentation ending abruptly. So presentation should go smooth. They will get to know, okay, this is the question slide which has come, or maybe a concluding slide which can be there. And after that, do not mention anything. Otherwise, there is no end to your presentation and people will not get to know when you are ending your presentation. Invite your audience to ask questions, provide visual aid if somebody is asking question from the fourth slide for say. Go back to that slide, tell them this is what I wanted to say and this is how I wanted to elaborate on it. And then avoid ending presentation abruptly. It would help you to avoid your presentation abruptly if you are showing the question slide. This is the end of the lecture on presentation skills.
If you want to study this topic in detail, refer to these books from Vikas Publishing House. Link is provided in the description box. If you found our video interesting, please like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.